welcome to ScreenHour with me, Kieran,
And me, Malkin.
where we will discuss the latest releases of films, series, and games regarding our own impressions and experiences.
In this episode, I'm going to give you another insight into what I believe is the perfect scene from quite possibly one of the greatest movies ever made, Jaws. Now, I've mentioned it before. Jaws is my most watched film of all time. Top Gun Maverick would be my second most watched film. Now, to remind yourselves, and even myself, because it's been a while, of what I consider to be the perfect scene. 5 attributes that I like to hit, which is the character building, tension, emotion, theme, and subtlety. There's multiple brilliant moments throughout Jaws. This is a bit weird, but when I watched Jaws, I skipped the first 10.5 minutes of the film. So you completely miss that whole beach bit. Basically, as soon as Chief Brody is leaving the station to go and get the supplies to create the no swimming on the beaches signs, and he's just going into town, because you're watching it as though you're just finding out about the Jaws, like you heard about a shark attack, but you don't know nothing about the shark yet. It's all mystery. You're still understanding it, so you're seeing it more from Chief Brody's perspective. You've heard there's a shark attack and they're putting up these signs, but you're still trying to understand what's going on. I don't know why I did this initially. I think I was just trying to skip all the credits or something. I skipped too far and I started watching it from that point, and I was like, whoa, this is actually a new perspective watching it from here. And that's how I always watch it ever since then. So I think I've seen like the opening scene maybe a handful of times, but I've seen the rest of the film like a million times. But give that a try. Try and watch it from that point on, because I think it completely changes the sort of dynamic of the film for me. Let me know if it changes it for you, if you enjoy it from that point or not. I could be chatting nonsense and you hate what I've just said, but I think it's somewhat different. Anyway, moving on. So there's 2 scenes that I would like to throw in to the table as perfect scenes. The first one I think I will mention is the scene where Hooper goes round to Brody's house with the bottle of wine, and Brody's just finished having his dinner. Now, in this scene, there is several things that I would consider to help that contribute to making it a perfect scene. First and foremost, it effectively reveals the characters' personalities and establishes their dynamic between them. Hooper, the young oceanographic, and Brody, the police chief, come from completely different backgrounds and have contrasting approaches to dealing with the shark threat. This scene showcases their initial clash of perspectives, setting the stage for their evolving relationship throughout the film. Additionally, this scene helps to build suspense and foreshadows the danger that lies ahead. Hooper's expertise and knowledge of sharks, combined with his investigation into the first shark attack, creates this atmosphere of impending doom. What Steven Spielberg does in this scene is he creates an engaging dialogue and develops the characters within a confined space. The interplay between Hooper and Brody's wife is both entertaining and informative. The discussion of shark behavior, and I think that's a big thing here, is providing the audience with valuable information about the shark and the impending threat. We're learning Hooper's background and why he's such a good oceanographer. The thing for me that really stands out in this particular scene is the conversations happening between Hooper and Brody's wife, and Brody himself, Roy Snyder, he's just opening the bottle. He's messing with the top of the wine bottle, and he's taken forever just to like break off the foil in order to pop the cork. You just watch the scene because it's almost a long shot, but that camera angle does change a couple of times, but it doesn't change so often that it's intrusive to the scene. It doesn't break up the sort of the moment and the interplay. In this scene, you're listening to the conversation, but I feel like you're watching Brody, and you're understanding his dynamic here. He's just sat on his own, minding his own business. He's a police chief, and he's just trying to think, how the hell is he meant to deal with this threat? And they're talking about, they've recently captured this shark, this tiger shark, and Brody's like, it's the one. We don't have sharks like that in these waters. We've got him. Next thing you know, Hooper's there, and it's like, it's not the shark. The bite radius is wrong. We need to cut it open. We need to find out if it's true. And Brody's like, why? why have we got to do this? Because I thought the problem was dealt with. And it's such an interesting interplay. And he pours himself basically a pint of wine. And I just really enjoy that scene. It's so intense that you're just drawn straight into it. Overall, the scene is considered perfect because it efficiently advances the plot, it develops the characters, and it increases the anticipation for the dangers to come. Combines effective storytelling, suspense-building techniques, and a memorable performances to create a pivotal moment within the film. It's character building. It's given us tension. There's a bit of emotion involved there, but it's not quite hitting the emotional mark. You've got your theme and you've got your subtlety. The emotion's a little lacking, but the character building, tension, your theme and your subtlety is all there.
We'd like to take a moment to thank you for listening to us. We would forever appreciate it were you to like, subscribe and follow us on your preferred platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple and Instagram with our handle ScreenHour. And if you'd like to participate in an episode, leave your thoughts on what you'd like to see us cover next.
Another scene I would like to suggest as a good contender for the perfect scene, and I think this one might take the cake. This one might be the one. I think it's quite a consensus. This is quite a perfect scene. So there's the scene where they're out at sea, they're on the boat, they're minding their own business. The next thing you know, it's silent. And you hear this as the reel of the fishing line very slowly tugs. This scene effortlessly and effectively builds suspense and tension by using minimalistic visual and audio cues. The slow unwinding of the reel creates an eerie sense of anticipation, heightening the audience's anxiety. Additionally, the scene showcases Quint's expertise as a seasoned fisherman, emphasizing his skill at setting up the impending danger. This scene serves as a pivotal moment in the scene as it foreshadows the imminent arrival of the great white shark. Now we've seen, glimpses of Jaws, but this is the first time we're really going to sort of see what Jaws can do. The escalating tension sets the stage for dramatic confrontation that follows, enhancing the overall impact on this film. The scene reflects Steven Spielberg's mastery of suspenseful storytelling. Through skillful pacing, cinematography, sound design, he creates an atmosphere of dread and uncertainty, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats. This memorable scene has become an iconic representation of the film's ability to generate fear and anticipation, and all we really, really get, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, almost like your heartbeat, isn't it? You say your heart races, but also your heart is slowing down because you're trying to understand the anticipation of the moment. You're trying to anticipate the uncertainty. Your heart rate, it matches the beat of the boom, 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 boom. And obviously the beat intensifies with the intensity of the scene intensifying. And then obviously when the reel breaks and the shark gets away, the beat subdues, as does your heart, because you're sort of the thrill of the moments and the built up anxiety and tension has slowly just eased its way out. But I think this scene is brilliant for character building. It gives us more of an insight into Quint. We really get to know him as a very seasoned and experienced fisherman. I mean, we've already had a good understanding of Brody and Hooper in previous scenes, but we get to see them all together. There's a hell of a lot of tension in this film. We can't discount that. There's emotion because there's a lot on the line here. There is a lot on the line. The theme it's so prevalent. It's too obvious. The subtlety, and I've said this before, it's the subtlety, it's the delicateness of a moment that makes it perfect. And I think as much as I love watching Roy Snyder try and open a wine bottle, I don't know what it is about that scene, but that wine bottle scene, I always find it so enchanting. But I do think this scene, the epitome, the film on a whole is fucking brilliant. I don't think any of Spielberg's works since have been anywhere near as good. It is the epitome of cinema. It absolutely is incredible. And one of the big things that I see in that film that's better than any film you see today is the long shots. There is so many long shots in this film. And by long shots, for those who don't quite know, a long shot is when the camera is filming a moment, or filming a scene rather, and there's no cuts, there's no breakaways. It's one continuous shot, and the actors all hit their marks. The sound guys are always in the right place to pick up the audio with the mics. The actors learn all of their lines so they can perform the entire scene. They don't just perform a line and then they have to read the script, perform another line, read the script, perform another line. They know the script off by heart, and that for me is just another essence of why this film is so brilliant, because everything just comes into place so perfectly. And you're just watching this scene. There's a particular scene at the beginning of the film where he goes out onto a ferry, and he's going off towards the kids are doing a swim to get their badges, and then the car pulls up onto the ferry, and he's talking with the mayor, and then he's talking with the doctor about how it couldn't have been a shark attack. It was probably a boat propeller. That entire scene is done in one take. It's incredible. Then there's a bit when they first string up the tiger shark, and then the mayor comes in, and then he introduces Hooper, and then they're just moaning about the bite radius. That is one long take. And then the mayor's like, I will not stand here and watch you cut open that shark and watch the little kitten and boy spill out all over the dock. There's a time and a place. There's so many long shots in this film that it's just, some films these days, you will see a long shot, and then that's like, oh yeah, we did a long shot. Phew, it's 5 minutes long. It's incredible. And it's like a 2-hour film with 1 5-minute long shot. Most long shots in films now are 2 minutes or something. Jaws is a film that has long shots every fucking 3 minutes, and they last for 7 minutes. It's so well done. It's a brilliant film, and I think that's why I keep coming back to it. I keep watching it, because it's like pure cinema. It's pure acting. It's a pure masterclass of what cinema used to be, and we don't really get that sort of thing these days. And at the end of the day, who doesn't like watching a killer shark? It's definitely the best killer shark film out there, although Sharknado gives it a run for its money. No, I'm joking. But that was my little bit on what scene I believe in Jaws to be a perfect scene. So jump down into the comments, let me know what you think, your thoughts on Jaws on a whole, maybe even Spielberg. Do you consider Jaws to be one of his greatest works? I would like to hear your thoughts, see if they align with my own, and if they don't, well, you're wrong. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.